Breaking now at 6, nearly 5 years after the Santiam Canyon wildfires, state investigators reveal what sparked the deadly blaze.
Plus, a life sentence for a man who confessed to killing his roommate in a grisly murder.
Jim and Fritz, you took away Kara's body and her dignity, but you can never take away her soul.
Then, parents on edge in Vancouver after deputies say a man offered money for sex to 3 teenagers on their way to school.
It's scary, that's the reality of today.
And Oregon lawmakers laying out their financial roadmap during unpredictable times.
And this is just a way of sort of plussing up our system so that we can actually pay our bills.
Good evening. We begin with a breaking update tonight in a new state report that says downed power lines did not spark the widespread destruction of the 2020 Santiam Canyon fire. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Padawanich. The Oregon Department of Forestry released the findings of its investigation 4.5 years after the deadly wildfires. Our Evan Watson joins us now in the newsroom. Evan, walk us through these findings.
Yeah, state forestry investigators say embers from the nearby Beachy Creek fire caused most of the damage that ravaged the Santiam Canyon. 5 people died and hundreds of homes burned. ODF investigators say downed power lines did spark about 1/3 of the fires in the area, but local residents and fire departments snuffed those out before they spread too far. Investigators said they found no evidence that power line ignitions significantly contributed to the fire devastation in the Santiam Canyon. In 2023, a Multnomah County jury found Pacific Power negligent and liable for Labor Day wildfires, including the Santiam Canyon and 3 others. The jury ordered the company to pay millions of dollars to people who lost their homes and potentially many others. That case is being appealed. It's unclear if these state investigation findings will play any role in that appeal. However, Pacific Power says this report supports what they've argued all along. While we continue to acknowledge the tragic impact of the 2020 wildfires, ODF's investigation provides crucial context and details that were unavailable and absent during the James trial proceedings. Forestry investigators admit that Pacific Power did not let them analyze damaged electrical and power line equipment in the area because the company, Pacific Power, was restoring power. It's unclear if that would have changed the investigation findings, the report said. Tonight at 11, our Alma McCarty has more on this developing story, including response from the attorney representing families who lost their homes. David?
I imagine for them, a lot of these details are going to be tough to digest. Thank you, Evan. In your headlines, Portland police are looking for the person who shot and killed a man late last night in southeast Portland. This was after 10 on Southeast 136 between Powell and Division in the Powellhurst-Gilbert neighborhood. The victim died at the scene. His name has not been released. So far, there's no information about any suspects.
Also in southeast Portland, a 14-month-old girl is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries after a car hit both her and her mom this morning while they were out on a walk. The child's mother is also seriously hurt. It happened just before 7 a.m. on Division near 164th. Portland police say the driver stayed at the scene and talked with officers. At this point, there have been no citations or arrests.
In Central Oregon, an investigation is underway into how a contraband substance, it's not clear exactly what, made its way into a state prison. Corrections officials at the Deer Ridge State Prison near Madras say the contraband substance was discovered on Tuesday during a search of a unit where prisoners are segregated, prompting an evacuation there. One officer was given naloxone and was treated and released from the hospital. A second officer also had a reaction and was treated on site. State police are now testing that substance to determine if it was an opioid.
And Governor Tina Kotek has declared a state of emergency for 10 Oregon counties after a series of damaging winter storms over the last month. A strong storm on February 24th triggered landslides in the Portland metro area and sent rivers in eastern Oregon overflowing their banks. And this past weekend, heavy rain slammed southern Oregon, flooding several communities and causing 1 death. The emergency declaration frees up state resources to help communities impacted and helps ODOT get federal money to fix damaged roads. Matt?
Thanks, Christine. There's still a flood warning up for the lower end of the Coquille River as it dumps out towards Bandon, but that's the last one in southern Oregon that's still under a warning. Lots of rain coming in now, and there's new snow in the mountain. The top of the mountain beginning to become obscured by a cloud once again, 28 degrees at Timberline at 6,000 feet of the Mount Hood. National Forest. Calling Thursday and Friday weather impact alert days, though, in the Cascades because heavy snow falls yet again. That means low visibility because it's going to get windy as well. And yes, we're talking feet of snow again, ski area elevations and above, but the passes will be snowy as well, so make sure you have chains or at least traction tires. Keep those extra supplies in your vehicle until we're well past the season of getting heavy snow in the Cascades. Winter storm warning is up beginning now, basically, and extending until late tomorrow night. But the snow will continue after that. Just depends on how high the snow level goes as to whether or not we get another warning or advisory. Now, for the valleys, it's rain. We've got it falling now. It'll fall overnight tonight. It should break up a little bit tomorrow. It'll be breezy at times at the coast, too. But next week looks amazing, at least for part of spring break. We've got very spring-like weather on the way as the seasons change in just a few hours, guys.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Matt.
To justice today for the family of an Oregon City woman killed in what one detective called one of the most horrific murders he has seen in his entire career.
A judge sentencing 48-year-old Jamin Fritsch to life in prison, and a warning: the details in this case are disturbing. Joe Ranieri joins us now live outside the Clackamas County Courthouse. Joe, terrifying that she lived with the man who killed her.
Yeah, very terrifying. Now, the two were actually roommates, and the man who killed Kara Taylor had known her for years. He actually called police in the summer of 2023 to say that she had gone missing. Well, earlier this afternoon in court, you guys, he showed no remorse, but did admit he will take responsibility for the murder. For the last 19 months, 48-year-old Jamin Fritsch has been sitting in jail.
Your Honor, I'm here today to take full responsibility for my crimes.
Now he'll be spending the rest of his life in prison for murdering and dismembering Kara Taylor back in the summer of 2023. Kara Taylor was last seen alive in late July of that year. Taylor was living with Fritsch at this home in Oregon City. He even called police to say she was missing. Detectives interviewed him and found he made several trips to Home Depot to buy trash bags, zip ties, and a saw blade.
In my time with Oregon City Police Department, this is up there as one of the top cases that's impactful to the family and horrific, obviously.
Fritsch eventually admitted that he murdered Taylor and dismembered her body. While in jail, he is still proven to be a danger to society, according to the prosecuting team.
He said he would pay 6 figures to have the prosecutor abducted, tortured, and killed. Given his conduct and his ongoing violent threats, we view the defendant as dangerous.
Taylor's family was in court before the sentencing, including Taylor's husband, who was estranged from her at the time of the murder.
Jamin Fritsch, you took away Kara's body and her dignity, but you can never take away her soul. She was a kind and loving person who would give everything that she had to help those less fortunate.
As her family shared stories about her, including a written statement from her older brother.
Growing up, her love of the outdoors would become unconditional. Any kind of weather was just fine if it involved camping or fishing, especially fishing.
Fritsch sat there rolling his eyes, only thanking his counsel and the deputies after the sentencing. Now, the one thing that family and friends didn't find out in court earlier today, David and Christine, is what led up to this murder. Now, keep in mind, these are two people that not only were roommates, but they had known each other for years, going all the way back to college. Back to you.
Yeah, still some questions there. Joe Ranieri reporting live from the Clackamas County Courthouse. Thank you, Joe. To Clark County now, where deputies have arrested a 21-year-old man they say offered 3 teen girls money for sex as they were on their way to school.
Let's bring in Daisy Caballero live outside Heritage High in Vancouver with those details. Daisy?
Yeah, David, Christine, as you guys can imagine, it has been quite the scare here locally in the community, and emotions may still remain high as Alexander Wright-Brock was released from jail yesterday, less than 24 hours after he was arrested. I got the chance to speak with the sergeant with the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office, who says one of the 3 victims pulled out her phone and took pictures of Wright-Brock shortly after the incident on Monday while at her bus stop. And they say those pictures actually helped them arrest him later that same day. School officials tell us Wright-Brock targeted teen girls at different schools, including Heritage High School and another in the Battleground School District. The Evergreen School District sent an email to parents thanking the students and families for reporting the incident.
In this case, very important that they do that reporting to somebody trusted, either at school or 911 directly or to a parent.
Especially with our young girls, that they know how to, keep themselves safe when approached by people like this.
Eliza Smith, who you just heard from there, knows one of the mothers of the two young girls, and like many mothers here locally, they found out about the incident on a Vancouver mom Facebook page. She is now thinking of the best way to bring up the topic about the do's and don'ts on talking to strangers to her 10 and 13-year-old daughters. Now, I also had the chance to speak to the cousin of one of the three victims, and they tell me that they, of course, are still very shaken up about this entire incident. Back to you guys.
All of that worth that tough conversation. Daisy Caballero in Vancouver tonight. Thanks, Daisy.